Hey everybody, welcome to another timeless pick a card reading where we're going to be asking where the stress is coming from in our lives and what advice does Spirit have to transform it to joy. We got the little black heart with all the restrictive stones around it and the magic wand taking that energy and transforming it into a joyful heart instead. You will have a choice between 3 readings. You have the blue stone, which will be number 1, the pink heart, which will be number 2, and then the purple pyramid will be number 3. And before I jump into the readings, I did want to let you know that currently at the time of this recording, I am in the middle of a YouTube subscriber marathon where I'm having several types of giveaways that are going on. I'm sure I'll continue to have giveaways going forward, and I have created a giveaway playlist, which I'll have listed in the description box below. So regardless of when you come across this reading, I would definitely go check that out because I'm sure there's a current giveaway that's happening. But my goal is to reach 1,000 or more subscribers on my YouTube channel. And when I reach that goal, I will be giving away 10 free 1-hour personal readings as well. I'm also having weekly giveaways throughout this period, so be sure to check that out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I would really appreciate you considering doing so. All right, well, let's jump into your reading. We're going to start with number 1, but there will be timestamps in the description box below for the others. All right, if you chose reading number 1, which is the beautiful blue stone here, then this is the reading for you. Now, we're going to start off here by pulling a card from the Power of Surrender cards just to see where the stress is coming from in your life. We'll dig a little deeper into it, of course. So let's take a look. We'll get that first. And any of the cards I use in a reading, I do list in the description box below. So if any of them catch your fancy, you know where you can also purchase those for yourself. All right. So for those that chose reading number 1, where would you like to identify that the stress is coming from in their lives? Okay, that's the one right there. And you have surrender to creativity. And it says, let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. You can see, I love that mirror in there. Beautiful reflection of the butterfly's transformation in there. So where I feel the stress is coming from is the connection to, like we were talking about, this is a heart that is so constrained because there is this very, very thin path of this is how something has to happen. This is how something has to be solved. And you feel like this stress coming in because it's such a narrow road that you have been taught things have to happen, like supposed to happen, should happen, need to happen, must happen, right? All these expectations have confined you so much that that's where the stress is coming from because you don't see all the possibilities out here or all the possibilities out here. Now, we will use these Revelations Tarot to also dig in and see what else they want you to know about this stressful side. So let's give these a little shuffle. All right, they do want that one. What else would you like them to know about this stress, please? Okay, and these 3, so we'll do these for now. And the first one here you have is the King of Swords. Yeah, so swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your expectations. The King of Wands, not only does the king rule over the mind of the air element, but all the kings in the minor arcana also get a double dose of air. So it's not just 1 air, but 2 air. And this is all about definitely getting into your mind. So identifying what it is, they're saying that you're so much in your mind that it is making it difficult for you to see, because you're so connected and just, I want to say stubborn, but stubborn, right? You're just so connected to those thoughts that you won't let them go. So that is definitely coming in here. And then you also have the strength card. Yeah. So there's like this, again, I kind of feel like there's, you might have like be an air sign in for your sun, or have a lot of air in your chart. So that would be, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. But the strength card here for your reading, for identifying where the stress is coming from, is that you have this desire, this need, this understanding, this belief that it's important for you to stand behind what you believe, and you are so afraid to let it go that you have this almost the strength, you want to put on this air of strength, like, no, I am right, this is the way it has to be done. And I almost feel, of course, that this was so reinforced when you were younger by those in authority over you, that whenever you kind of had a thought that was outside of what they wanted, you got punished for it and berated for it, or made to look like a fool. Like, how could you think that? You're so stupid. This is the way it is. And you were so punished and felt so low about yourself during that you feel like, I have to stand up just like everyone else in my family did, or those around me. So that's I kind of feel like where your this stubbornness is coming from. And then you have the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is this beautiful journey of worth. All the knights go on a quest. That's what knights do. Well, the Knight of Pentacles is looking for the Ace of Pentacles, which one also is like looking for not only new opportunities in the outside world or abundance, but it comes down to self-worth and relating what your worth is into the outside world. So with the source of your stress is that you were using all these thoughts and these beliefs to define who you were, who you are, what success means, and all of that wonderfulness. So that is also, kind of ties into what I was talking about with that strength card, where so much of your success and your acceptability and lovability was ingrained so deeply within you with that rejection when you were younger, when you were trying to create your own thoughts and your own beliefs and your own ways of doing things, that this night you've been in this pursuit of your self-worth, and you feel like you have to defend it like a knight does its honor. And so that's where the stress is coming in, because it really is a lot of this pride, like lion, right? The lion's pride of, I am strong, and this is who I am, and this is how everything is, and this is my foundation. And you're afraid to question it, because if one thing is not right and something about you is wrong, oh my God, what is that going to mean? Is your whole house of cards going to fall down? Well, we'll see. And then your final card here is the Four of Cups. And so the Four of Cups are your emotions, and cups with the Four of Cups is like you're pursuing emotional stability. And I feel like that's just what I was talking about here, where it's like, well, if I can't defend these things, and if these things are wrong, then there is this fear that your whole life is going to fall apart. But I love there's a phrase, and I can't remember the exact verbiage of it, but when we look at things falling apart in our lives, instead of looking at it as things falling apart, we can look at that are falling into place, I think is what it kind of goes along. And I kind of like that, because it's like, yes, this stress is happening because the root of stress is fear. And so there's these fears that are at the root of the stress that we were talking about here. But don't worry, we're going to look here and see how this gets transformed and what advice Spirit has to transform this fear, this stress, into joy. So we'll look in here, and we're going to pull a card here from the Divine Guidance deck and just see what they'd like us to know. First, for the advice on how you can transform all the stress into joy instead. Get rid of this restrictiveness and feel free and bright. All right, so what advice do you have for those that chose reading number 1? How can they transform the stress into joy? Okay, this is the one right here. You got this beautiful card, number 37. This is fractal imaging. I call it the spiritual inkblot test. So you can take a look at that. Whatever jumps out to you immediately, trust that is an additional message for you. I will read from the book. It is card number 37. Add 3 and 7 together. That does equal 10, which is endings and new beginnings. So you are ready to get rid of this stress. And this says, even simply questioning your life or trying to figure out where and how to move forward moves your energy and aids in opening you to your higher awareness and divine purpose. Continue with this. Don't let your human mind, with its limited point of view, tell you that you're stuck or not progressing. So we talked about you're so much in your mind here. So it's telling you that don't let that human mind, with its limited, restricting point of view, tell you that you're stuck or not progressing. It isn't true. You are opening, you are flowing, and your soul is blossoming. Keep your faith in both yourself and Spirit. Know that you're on the perfect path and that you are opening to your highest potential, one step at a time. Beautiful. So definitely the message here is that you're on the right path, questioning these thoughts and these beliefs, not trusting that your mind knows it all, because it's telling you that you're not being successful, you're not doing things right, you got to stay in line. If not, you're going to get rejected, you're not going to be lovable, you're going to get ostracized, you're going to get rejected and thrown out of town, and you're going to die alone in the forest. It's like, whoa, your mind can take us in such places, right? We're also going to use the Revelations Tarot here as well, and just get some more clarification on how to transform this stress to joy. All right, what else for reading number 1? Advice on transferring these things to joy. Okay, so you got those 4. We'll start off with this one, and you have the 4 of Pentacles. And this is great because here you had the Knight of Pentacles, the search for that Ace of Pentacles for your wholeness and completeness. Well, the fours are the number of solid stability and solid foundation. And the journey of the 4 of Pentacles is that we look outside of ourselves for our wholeness and our completeness, for our worth. That's what we're taught, right? We're taught to look out here. It's actually the journey of the Strength card. The lion is our human self. The other maiden here is our higher self. And we are hungry and we're thirsty, and we're taught, look to relationships, look to situations and circumstances like jobs, education, social status, those types of things, or our body and things, or our bank accounts, right? But when we define ourselves, our worth by those things, we feel unstable because those things are unstable. We've got relationships, people change or they pass away. Situations never stay the same. And things in our bodies, of course, deteriorate, they break down, they are stolen, they burn down. So all those things are unstable. But self-worth doesn't come from the outside. I call that retail price. When we look to the outside world, like that knight is looking to the outside world for its worth, it looks out there and, of course, is disappointed in all of that because retail price is constantly fluctuating. It depends on what season you're in, right? It's like a big parka warm coat. When you're in the Antarctica and it's freezing and it's winter, oh my gosh, people think you're valuable and are fighting over you. But if you're that same parka coat on the tropical island at the equator during summer, then people have you on the 99% off clearance rack. That's retail price. That's not self-worth. Self-worth comes from within, and enough disappointment and all that does turn them inward for their search, where they do find a solid, stable force to define themselves by, which is when they look into their hearts and they find the unconditional love of the spirit realm, of the creator of all things, of that whole posse of beings of unconditional love and light that love us so unconditionally. So that's where it's stable, because one, there's no conditions around it, because it just takes one condition to make something conditional. So there's nothing you can do to lose that love, nothing you can do to gain more of it, because you have it already. And it's eternal. Out here, temporary. In here, that heart, that connection to our spirit world, that's eternal. So you find this stability here, and it's showing you that with this night, this pursuit that you have, how you transform this stress and fear is you connect to this love instead. Let's see what else they bring in here for you. And you have the Page of Wands. Wands is your energy, your drive, your ambition, your inspiration. And the pages, one, are messages from spirit. So if you can get quiet, purposely raise your vibration to that of unconditional love and peace and laughter and joy. When you purposely raise your vibration to that, that's where spirit speaks. That's the frequency at which they speak. But the Page of Wands also is about new energy. And definitely when we stop looking outwardly, like when you stop having this pursuit of, oh my gosh, it's so exhausting. It's like you become desperate, because the more you eat and drink of everything out here, the more hungry you become, the more thirsty you become, because it's not giving you what you need. So we invest so much energy trying to live up to all those, that things in our mind, the supposed tos, the shoulds, the need tos, the have tos, and the musts. It's like trying to herd cats. You spend so much energy and getting really no results. But when you have all that energy returned back into you, then that's where you feel this flood of energy just come back to you, instead of being wasted out into a black hole in the outside world. Yep. And you do have the Tower, which is endings and new beginnings, again, coming in here with this card. But this definitely has a message that believing and seeing that whatever is brought into your world comes to you on purpose for a purpose, but also what leaves your life is being removed on purpose for a purpose. So I really feel like all these mental thoughts and these beliefs that you've had before, you're really starting to question those, and then you're really starting to let them fall away, because it's like living in a condemned home. You're constantly in fear because the floors are caving in, the walls are falling apart, the ceiling's even falling down, the plumbing's, spotty if it works at all, and you even kind of smell a gas leak, and you're like, lightning, while you're out, the lightning bolt comes down and blasts the condemned tower, and it burns it to the ground, and the insurance company comes and like, here, you had your insurance, and now we're building you a brand new tower that is all up to date with new things. It's safe, and it's more in alignment with where you want to go now. So your old thoughts and your old beliefs are falling away. That's, as you question those and you allow those things that no longer serve you to fall away, that helps you transform the stress into joy as well. And then your final card is the Sun, representing joy, representing, and it's funny, this is Leo energy. So we talk about Leo the lion, but you have Leo energy, returning to that child self, returning to your dreams, letting the light shine on every area of your life, bringing the capital T truths to fruition, where these were small t truths that were stressing you out. All those opinions and popular opinions you were given when you were young, trying to prove that they are more true. But when you connect to the higher realms, it does shine light onto every area of your life, where you start to see the capital T truths that are rooted in the unconditional love of the higher realms. And you start allowing those small t truths to fall away out of your life, because they no longer serve you. And I love that when we say no longer serves us, because when we believe everything comes into our life on purpose for a purpose, then we don't judge ourselves going, oh, okay, when I believed what I believed, I couldn't act any other way than what I acted. But now I'm aware the sun is shining light and truth upon these areas of my life. And I know I came down here on purpose for a purpose to go through these experiences of fear. But everything's a mirror for me, reflecting back to me what I want to see about myself till I see it. And when I see it with that bright light shining on it, then I can transform it and move it. So really, it's like questioning these fears, questioning these thoughts and these beliefs, and knowing that, we fear like, oh, what if it's wrong? But I love that phrase. When we fear that things are falling apart, take a deep breath and then believe that things are falling into place. So I love this message for you. If this did not resonate with you, then I would check out one of the other two, and you can listen to as many of these that resonate with you as possible, of course. So if you are looking for even more messages of love from above, in addition to these pick-a-card readings, I also put out weekly readings, energy updates for each individual zodiac sign, also monthly readings for each zodiac sign, and a few other types of videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be updated immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that does give you access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, if you select the all option, then you will be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. And also doing those things helps spread the love, and it helps my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like a video, you share a video, comment on a video, subscribe to the channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so giddy happy, it does want to share the videos of this channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am so very grateful. Also, these are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is listed in the description box below. I have added a kind of a scale pricing model with it, where you can choose the price that is best for your budget. And so that is this, moving scale offering different options. Again, all that information is listed in the description box below. All right, all of you that chose reading number 1, I love this for you. I'm sure we'll be talking very soon, but in the meantime, just know that every second of every day that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. You hang in there and you take care. Right? If you chose reading number 2, which is the beautiful pink quartz heart, and this is the reading for you. We are going to start off by pulling a card here from the Power of Surrender deck. And all the cards I use in a reading I do list in the description box below. But we'll take a look here and just see where first the Creator and Spirit want you to know about where is the stress coming from in your life. All right. So for those that chose reading number 2, what would you like them to know about their stress? All right. This is the one right here. You've got surrender your addictions. And that says, whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. So the stress is the habits that you have, these addictions that you feel like you're trapped, you feel like you can never get away from them, that they're like always, you're always going to be trapped in this endless cycle that loops and loops and loops and loops and loops. So we'll get some more details on this too, and we're going to pull these Revelations Tarot, just see what else they want you to know about that. About these habits, these addictions, the trap, the chains that you feel have you kind of boxed in like this, right? You feel like you can't help yourself. So, but those are, what else for those? I chose reading number 2. Okay. Okay, and that one too. All right. So you do have these 4. And we're starting off here with the 8 of Swords. Yeah. So this is how you feel. Definitely. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And the 8 of Swords is such a beautiful card to have because it is about awareness. Do you see how they're like eyes are blinded, they're bound and tied up, and then they're trapped in all their thoughts and their beliefs. So definitely that's confirmation here of that's how you feel. I love the Revelation cards because it shows you, when you look at it this way, you're like, oh my gosh, but when you flip it, it's like freedom. You see you're set free. So there is hope for that, but this hopelessness of this situation is where the stress is coming from. You just, like you said, you're looking to the future and you're like, I'm never going to be able to beat this or move beyond it. And then you have the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is about perseverance. It's your energy, your drive, your passion, your inspiration. It's your overall energies. It's also about feeling blocked, though, because usually they'll have them like wounded with a bandage on their head. And actually, I think I was trying to see which one here. Yeah, because this one up here, before it's flipped over, it's like they feel blocked. They feel like all this is keeping them trapped within it, like we were talking about down here. And the 9 of Wands usually has like the all the 9 wands in front of you, like it's keeping you from something, and you feel like there's this block that you can't get past with that. So that's the energy that you're feeling with all of this. Oh my gosh, yeah. And the 9 of Swords, insomnia, nightmare card. Again, all of these expectations that you feel you have to live up to, all of this mental stuff that's going on with you where you just feel like you can't overcome it, and it's keeping you up at night. You're having nightmares, and you're just almost to the point of exhaustion where you're like, oh my gosh, which is great because 9s, you move from the 8 up into the 9s, but you're at the so many 9s here are that obviously you've been doing a lot of inner reflection, and you're right at the verge of letting these things go. Addictions can be anything. It can be, like when it said people, it could be codependency. It can be a lot of different things. So, whatever your situation that you're feeling this restrictedness and this, being tied and bound and no hope in, that's what this is for. And then you have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess, for this side, is representing the unknown, the hidden. And for you, I just feel like it's like you just have no idea. You're like, I don't even know where this is coming from. There's all this subconscious programming that is still running behind the scenes that you're just like, I don't know what's going on. I always look at it like you have your computer and you opened a website to play music on there, and you hit play, and then you minimized it and it's still playing over and over and over, and you're like, you hear the music, but it's been so long and it's minimized that it's not in your awareness, but you still feel the impact because maybe it's really slowing down your computer, because it's taking so much of your CPU, your the programming that keeps things running. And, you hear the music, and so you're like, it's impacting you, but you don't know why. And so I really feel like that's where this hopelessness, a lot of it's coming from too, is like, you just don't feel you can get to the root of it. But let's move on here and move into the brighter side of the reading, which is asking, Spirit and the Creator, what advice they have about how you can transform all this suffering and stress and fears into joy. And so we're going to start off by pulling a divine guidance card, and we'll see what they want you to know. What advice do they have? Just one more time. All right. So for those that chose reading number 2, actually, they do want that one right there. You got card number 41. These are fractal imaging. I call them the spiritual ink blot test. So you can look at it. Whatever jumps out to you, keep that. That's a special message for you. I will read from her book, but I wanted you to see that. And if you need to rewind and pause to take a deeper look at it, please feel free to do so. But for this card, the meaning that she interpreted through Spirit is creativeness. You are fully aligned with the powerful light of source energy and loving harmony of Mother Earth. Your creative energy is centered and flowing. It's time now to embrace this energy. Perhaps you're an artist, a writer, a speaker, a dancer, a healer, a musician, or whatever. Dedicate time each day to using your creative force in a way that brings you joy. Keep yourself grounded and connected through meditation. When you are aligned with Source and Mother Earth, your creative juices flow in abundance. What I'm really hearing from that is focusing your energy on joy grows joy in your life. Focusing on all this keeps that grounded and has that expand. So wherever you focus your energy is what grows in your life. So they're saying, rather than reinforce all of this, your addictions, if you're focusing on the old habits, the old ways of doing things, it's like create habits of joy instead. And when you focus on that, it switches the energy in your life. I'm loving this. We're also going to pull some more Revelation Tarot here. See what else they want you to know about this. But yeah, so creating new habits. Create a new addiction to spiritual upper level things, those things that bring joy to your heart that are not destructive. Because that's what addictions are, right? We think it brings us joy. We think it's healthy for us. But if we did, then we wouldn't think that it's something that we need to change, right? Obviously, it's not bringing us what we're looking for. So what other advice do you have? Oh, nope, they said not all those. None of those. Okay. Keep shuffling. Okay. They do want that one. They do want these 2. Any others? And that one. Okay. Yep, so you have the death card. It is death and rebirth. It's time to put an ending to the old ways of looking at things and the old thoughts, the old beliefs, the old habits, and transform them. And that's what's great is that, not beating yourself up for what your past actions were that brought you these experiences, because you actually came here to experience this. We have the black and the white, the contrast between the two. If we didn't have, contrast, we would all just see one color and not see anything else. But we came here to experience the opposites of who we really are in order, like we came here to experience stress, so we know what peace and joy feels like. And by having the opposites, we understand it. It's like breathing air. When you're breathing air, You don't realize you're breathing air in the beginning because that's just is. But when you're 6 feet underwater looking up at air, you're like, that is air because this is non-air. And that contrast allows you to understand both and also an appreciation for both, especially air, as you swim back toward it, right? So you are having this awareness that you came here on purpose for a purpose to experience that, but it was a habit. You were given popular opinions that were handed down from generation to generation to generation. They were so much given to you that you took them on as your own opinion out of fear of being rejected and being punished, or maybe you were praised and so you took them on because you liked how that felt. Regardless if it was praise or punishment, you took on that popular opinion of others as your own opinion, and then it became your habit because it was reinforced over and over again, and it became your reaction. So it is a process of breathing, making different choices, and creating new habits, which takes time to create a new habit, but not beating yourself up over it definitely helps. It's like, yep, that's the way I used to think, but I do want to think a different way because that way isn't bringing me joy, but this new way will. So I am going to change this habit. And when you're changing it for you, you're more likely able to change a habit. When you're changing a habit for other people, 0% success rate, usually, right? So this is about you making the choices for yourself, and you're making that. 4 + 1 together is 5. 5 is the number of change. So you're ready for the changing of habits. And 5 of swords. So changing of your mind, changing of your mindsets, changing the way you're looking at things, allowing yourself to change how you perceive things before. And you're not limited in feeling that restriction anymore. So I love that. Right in perfect timing there. And then you have the Emperor. Yes. The Emperor is about taking control over your life. So instead of feeling out of control, you're able to look at it that you get to choose what you want for your life. There's a great story for the Emperor as well, which is basically 2 choices. There's 2 types of emperors. You have a loving emperor who is loved because they have found the love within themselves, which is like kind of that, 4s are a very stable number. Think of like a giant table with 4 huge legs. It's the stability. The loving emperor has found the love from within, fills up, and he lets it flow out to the world. So he found his wholeness. He found his worth from within. He found this love, this unconditional love of the higher realms from within himself, and he's letting it flow out. And when a king shares the love, he shares the, royal funds and treasures with his kingdom, knowing that if his kingdom is successful, that they'll feel happy, and if the whole kingdom is full of joy, they're able to impact the world in such beautiful ways. But every human also has our little human child self inside of us. And when that little human child self inside of us feels unsafe or out of control or uncomfortable, it will sound an alarm and send the body into fight or flight mode, which also sends a lot of blood out of our brains to our arms and legs to fight or to run, the whole fight or flight thing. But we're also not thinking very clearly. We're just in that reactionary mode based on fear, not an emotionally mature place, not a loving place. It's all about survival mode at all costs, even if it costs everyone else their lives. And so when the loving emperor who is loved, when that little child inside activates, it moves from that to a tyrant, to an authoritarian, to this kind of leader who is all about their gain, themselves at the, overtaxing the kingdom because it wants more and more and more. I need control. I need safety. I need that. So you have this understanding of the 2 sides of the coin, and that you get to make a choice every moment, whether you're going to be choosing thoughts and beliefs or emotions that are connected to unconditional love, or if it's going to be connected to the fear of losing conditional love, which is related to the humanness. So you do have this wonderful ability, like, oh, I'm addicted to this old pain and suffering and, all these fears, but there is another habit I can choose, a habit to choose unconditional love things instead of fearful things. So love this message for you. And then you have the Devil card. Yeah. And the Devil card is your shadow. It is showing you, and I thought when addictions come up, I go, I bet the Devil card's going to show up here, because it is. The Devil card is all about showing us what our addictions are. And it brings it to our face on purpose, for a purpose, so that we can move from them. I mean, it's perfect. We can move from these restrictive things. Usually they'll have it'll show like the devil at the top of the card with these chains that go down, and they're loosely around two individuals' necks. And it's so loose, they could just take it off their head and walk away. They usually also sometimes show like the devil's hand, and they'll have like the chains just laying across it. He doesn't have a grip on it. He just has an open hand. It can slide right off. Other times they'll even show a cage with the door open or the door unlocked. And it's like keeps us feeling trapped and restricted is these thoughts and these beliefs, these habits we have formed by those popular opinions. And so how you can transform those into joy is by finding these new, beautiful habits of choosing joy. Understanding what all this is about helps, because you're like, oh, I see. So these are the things that are keeping me feeling restricted, but I can choose. I have another choice. There's a kingdom of unconditional love I can choose from, where I'm free and I'm not restricted, or I can stay over here, or I can go back and forth, which is the ebb and flow of this life. There's nothing wrong with that. Where we fear is that I'm going to do something wrong. And it's like this beautiful, the Devil card is showing you these are the things that are keeping you feeling small. And they're not doing it to berate you or to, look what you're doing. You're trapped. It's like Dr. Evil in the Austin Powers series. Dr. Evil he was, of course, the villain, and Austin Powers was the international man of mystery, the spy. Dr. Evil always tried to take over the world. Austin Powers always attempted to stop him. They would end up, of course, he would always somehow get captured. Dr. Evil would spill the plan because he was planning on killing Austin Powers, right? But he spilled the plan, even when people told him to stop doing that, because he always escapes and foils his plan, couldn't help himself by sharing the plot, sharing what was going to happen. And that's what this Devil card does. The shadow says, look, this is the plot. This is what is keeping you restricted. And wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's doing it and showing you that so that you can break away from these addictions. It's not doing it to make fun of you. It's doing it for you. So I love this that they showed you also focus on joy, joy, joy to grow that instead of this old habit of focusing on this. Transform this and you can be free from that. Definitely there's change possible. Just don't beat yourself up. There is this endings and new beginnings coming as you let the old ways go, the old ways of thinking go, and find these new ways that are more connected to unconditional love. Love this message for you. If you are looking for more messages of love from above, in addition to these pick-a-card readings, I also put out weekly energy updates for each individual zodiac sign, also monthly readings for each individual zodiac sign, and a few other types of videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be updated immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that gives you access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, if you select the all option, then you will be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things, it helps spread the love and it helps my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like a video, you share a video, you comment on a video, you subscribe to the channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so excited. It does want to share the videos and messages of this channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am ever so grateful. Also, these are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is listed in the description box below. I also recently added a sliding price scale for my recorded videos, which allows you to choose between like 3 different prices for each of the recorded personal readings. So you can choose something that's more in alignment with your budget, so you can pick the best price. So all that information, like I said, is listed in the description box below. Alrighty, beautiful people, as you go through this wonderful transformation and changing of habits, please know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing adventure. We'll be talking soon. In the meantime, you hang in there and you take care. And for those that chose reading number 3, which is this beautiful amethyst pyramid, then this is the reading for you. And we are going to start off by pulling a card here from the Power of Surrender deck, just to find out what the Creator wants you to know about the stress in your life. Where is it coming from? And any of the cards I use in a reading, I do list in the description box below. So if any of them tickle your fancy, you know where you can find those. All right, so for those that chose reading number 3, what would you like them to know about their stress? Where is their stress coming from currently in their life? All right, that is the one right here. And you've got surrender to the magic of who you are. Beautiful. And it says, we all have magic inside of us. Even in the mundane aspects of life, remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that come from just being you. So I really feel like the source of your stress is that you don't believe this, that you believe that you are less than, that you aren't special, that you don't have a whole lot of worth. And maybe you might just feel like, yeah, I'm just like any other flower, you know, like you're looking at all that flower field. I'm just like everyone else. I don't stand out. I'm just extra. You know, the world wouldn't matter if I was here or not. I'm just, you know, I'm just here. I'm just existing. Well, I'm not making an impact. You know, all these beliefs, this is what's making you feel just so lifeless. You're existing, you're not living. So I see that coming in here. We are going to use these Revelation Tarot to dig in deeper here and see what else they want you to know about the stress. So let's give these a shuffle. They do want that one. And that one. Okay. Okay, and these two, they're like, okay. The shuffling process is what is revealing your cards. So you have the 7 of Cups here. So the 7 of Cups is your emotions, and this is emotional confusion is what this is representing. Emotions are just, you feel like you're surrounded by all of these different feelings all the time, and you kind of feel, I don't want to say emotionally unstable, but I just want to say that you feel emotionally unstable. So not in like an extreme kind of way for majority of you. It's just, you just feel this confusion that arises. You just get a flood of emotions of anger and sadness and just betrayal. You just get all this stuff that just floods in when something happens. And so it just is this tsunami of emotional waves that come and hit you there. Wow, another 7. Yeah, and you have the 7 of Pentacles. So 7 of Pentacles feels like you're not having things grow in your life. Like the last thing that grows on a fruit tree is the fruit. And you don't feel like the fruit is growing. If you see any of it, it's like hardly growing, it's not ripe, it's not ready, and it's been feeling like it's taking forever. Like you don't have this fruition that's coming from it. You just feel like, I'm doing these. I also feel like you see some fruit grow and you're like, oh, why are apples growing on this tree? And you remember, oh, I planted apples because everyone else wanted applesauce. And so they're having you do this. So there's these obstacles that you feel are keeping you from, living your dream, living and not existing. So I feel like all these sevens coming in, definitely. Yeah, and then the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is the journey of self-worth. It is about this feeling that, you're looking in the outside world for your wholeness and your completeness, and you are feeling like you're on a clearance rack, because when we look outside of ourselves for our wholeness, our worth, that's retail price. It's not self-worth. So where the source of your stress is that you're feeling unstable in your worth because you're looking outside of yourself for it. Like our relationships, people change, people pass away. So when we use a relationship to define us, we feel unstable because it's constantly fluctuating. One day they're feeling great about you. The next day they're upset, giving you the cold shoulder. And the next day you're back in their good graces and you're like, oh my gosh, all this emotional stuff that's popping in. Also, situations like your jobs, your education, your social status, just situations you can get in when you define yourself by those. Those, of course, are unstable. They're ever-changing. Things never stay the same in education, jobs, all that stuff. It's fluid. All this outside world is constantly changing. So when we define ourselves by that, we also feel unstable and like our worth is always changing. And then, of course, we're taught things. Our bodies, our possessions, our bank accounts, but all those things deteriorate, are stolen, they burn down, or they just are broken. And so those things are also unstable. So this instability of your worth is what's bringing in a lot of this stress, because you just feel like you can't feel this solid sense of who you are and your worth, right? And it's beautiful, though, because, this is happening on purpose for a purpose. And you're realizing that's not worth, that's retail price. How you are worth to others in the outside world is retail. It's not self-worth. Self-worth you get to determine. But all this time, where all the stress is coming from is because you haven't spent a lot of deep time really finding out who you really are. That's why you don't feel like you're magical. You're looking at the outside world going, oh. And the example that Spirit gave me this, which I use probably too much because everyone's probably like, oh, not that story again. But it is. It's like you're a parka coat, big warm coat in the Antarctic during winter. When you're that, people are like, oh, they're fighting over you because you're worth so much. Everyone needs that, wants that. But if you're that same parka coat in a tropical island on the equator during the summer, you are on that 99% clearance rack. And that represents the, extremity of worth in the outside world. It depends on where you're at, what season you're in, who you're around, and all of that. So that's like a source of a lot of your stress here. And then you have the 10 of Cups. Cups are your emotions, and the 10 of Cups does represent this wholeness and this completeness of your emotions. And this whole thing is like, this is what you're trying to find, but you haven't found it. You feel empty. You feel like nothing is filling you up. And that's because the outside world can't. It's not giving you what you truly need. Okay, so enough of the dark side. Let's move into the advice from Spirit on how you can transform this stress into joy instead. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Divine Guidance. So at least you have clarity and like, oh, okay, this is where the stress is coming from. So let's see here what they want you to know. So for those that chose reading number 3, what advice do you have on how they can convert this to joy. Okay, I do want that one. You've got card number 32. As I say, that I consider these the spiritual ink blot test cards because it's fractal imaging. So whatever you pick up on here is a special message for you. So you can take a look at that. But I will read from the book. This is card number 32. Let's see what message comes from Spirit on here. This is called the nectar of life, almost like little honey, right? You work so hard, and you are definitely to be commended for your efforts. This card is asking you to slow down a little and enjoy the simple things in life. Spend some quality time with family and friends. Take time to embrace life and do some of the things you honestly enjoy. Focus your energy on activities and things that bring you true pleasure. Taste the sweetness of life. Feel empowered to pollinate and fertilize your dreams. And this is so beautiful because when you're looking at, when we were talking about like, I'm just this average thing, I don't, it doesn't matter if I'm here or not. Think of bees. People think, oh, what if we didn't have bees? It's just an insect. What do we need them for anyway? But of course, you've been hearing all the, with the bees having challenges and they're like becoming less and less. So they're like, oh my gosh, if we lose bees, the purpose that they have in pollinating, like all those flowers, if they aren't doing their job, plants won't pollinate, plants will die, fruit won't grow. We'll end up losing oxygen and we'll all die, And so this message is not to give you fear, but to say you don't realize the purpose that you have here. If you weren't here, the story of this world would be incomplete. I'll say that again. If you were not here, the story of this whole world would be incomplete because you're not an extra in this movie. There are no extras in this movie. You are a star along with all the other beautiful stars here. And you came here on purpose for a purpose. You're not here by accident. The other thing I loved about this, that they're telling you this message that, how you feel like you're existing. When you feel like you're existing or you wake up in the morning going, oh crap, I got to go live my dream today. You're not living your dream, you're living someone else's dream. Or if you feel like you're existing, you're not living your dream and you have kept yourself small and you have been taught not to dream. And so there is this energy coming in here, which we'll get some more cards here from the Revelations Tarot too. You're being nudged to connect to the higher realms to understand. If you don't know what brings you joy, what makes your heart sing, then it's time to take time away, to step away, to take this deep breath. Like it says, have fun, get away from things, get away from all the chaos, all the noise, all the expectations, all those other dreams that were handed to you. So you can find out what truly in your heart is there, how you uniquely want to share the unconditional love in your heart with the world. That will allow you to see the magical being that you are and how you really impact others. But it's this change of view, like, to be the bee, see your worth and see how important you are to this world. No one comes down here on accident, right? And any others, please. Okay, I did want that one. So let's take a look here. What more advice do they have for you here? Yeah, you have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands represents celebration, joy, very stable energy because the wands are your energy, your drive, your passions, your inspiration. I mean, look how bright and shiny that is. A lot of these were dark over here, right? So it's like This is you finding your energy, finding your worth, sharing things with the world, but focusing on joy, those things that bring you joy. This is like a joy and celebration card. So if it's not bringing you joy, if it's not making your heart sing, then it's time to evaluate that. And is it really something that needs to stay in your life anymore? Where are you investing your energy? And then you have the Devil card, yeah. And so the Devil card is not a bad card. This is the shadow card. It is bringing to you, allowing you to see in not subtle ways what is making you feel restricted and small and limited. Usually they'll have like a devil with these chains that are wrapped around people's neck, but it's very loose. It's like they could like slip it off their head. It's, big. It's not tight where it can't get over your head. It's very loose. You can just slide right off and escape from those things. Also, they might sometimes show like a cage with the door open, or no door, or it's unlocked. And it's basically showing you that it's the shadow will bring things into your life, into your face in such a extreme way that it's not possible to not see the things that are making you feel this way. And so when the shadow appears into the limelight, it's Capricorn energy. It's ruled by Saturn, which is the taskmaster. It's the wise grandfather who's rich, full of wisdom, brings you lessons. But if you do the work and you do the transformation, there's also a great amount of wealth that he leaves you. You get the prize, you get the reward for doing the work. So I love this coming in for you too, that it is this promise that it's worth it. When you do this, that you will just be blown away by who you are and how you can see yourself. Yeah, because you have the Eight of Swords. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes. You can see here how your thoughts and your beliefs about yourself that you took on, it could be popular opinions, all that stuff that you got when you were younger, that you took on and believed that when people said you're worthless and you believed them because you were young and you didn't know any better. Now you're realizing those are the things that have blinded you, bound you, and made you feel trapped. But I love these revelation cards because it shows you're taking off the blind, you're breaking away from the bonds, you're breaking out of that shell. In fact, I'm going to leave it converted here to show you that you are moving those thoughts and those beliefs and you're cutting them away. Really, the eights are about you moving to another level. This is you slicing away and cutting away those old thoughts and those old beliefs about yourself that no longer serve you. Yay! And then you have the Fool card. You are ready. This is new beginnings. This is the first card of the major arcana. The World card comes before it, which is the ending of a major cycle. And this would be the beginning of a whole new adventure for you. So I really feel like this is how it's going to feel for you once you realize what your dream is and you stop investing in the old way of thinking, investing in the old dreams, the old supposed tos, the shoulds, the need tos, the have tos, the musts. Those were all those swords that are keeping you restricted. All that popular opinion that everyone is telling you of who you should be, what you should do with your life, blah, 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 right? So you're ready for this. You're ready for the sweet nectar instead of the bitter waters of expectations. You're ready to show who you are. You're ready to see the impact that you make on the world. You're ready to let your heart sing and do the things that you love and enjoy, because if you're not living your dream, then you are just existing. And that is where the stress comes from, because you feel like if this is the way, is this as good as it gets, then I don't want to be here. And, everyone comes to a point in their life, and it can be extreme. I know at one point I was going to end my life because I felt all the stuff that was happening, that I was failing and I was letting everyone down. And the world would be better off if I wasn't here. But the bee tells you if all the bees ended their life and opted out, the world would die. And so don't do it. And that's the thing, when whenever I get stressed out, I take it down to death, which some people are like, what? And I'm like, well, I think back when I was going to, end my life. And I'm like, when I was at that point, I'm like, well, what's the worst that could happen? I could die. Well, I'm about to do that to myself. So instead of doing that to myself, I'm like, then I'm just going to let all this stuff go, and I'm just going to face life head on and do the stuff that I love and do the stuff I enjoy. Because what's the worst that could happen? I could die, right? So, it's like realizing that you're at this point, and this, you coming across this reading, definitely you're ready for this. You're like, yeah, I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. I'm tired of existing. You are ready to live. And so this is that message from the universe, from the creator of all things, that you are supported. We want you to live your dream. You came here on purpose, for a purpose. The world would not be the same without you. You have this beautiful gift that you give the world, and it's time to really free yourself and allow yourself to do that. So I am truly loving this for you. If you are looking for more messages of love from above, in addition to these pick a card readings, I also put out weekly energy updates for each individual zodiac sign, also monthly readings for each individual zodiac sign, and a few other types of videos throughout the month. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be updated immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that gives you access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, if you select the all option, then you will be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. And doing those things, it helps spread the love. And it also helps my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like a video or you share a video, comment on a video, subscribe to the channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so giddy happy it does want to share the messages of these videos with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am so very grateful for that. Also, these are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and specific answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is listed in the description box below. And I also recently added for my recorded video personal readings a sliding price scale, which offers a variety of prices for each of them instead of one set price, so you can choose the price that is best for your budget. So again, all that information is listed in the description box below. All you amazing individuals that chose this number 3, you are magical. You are so needed upon this planet. And please know that every second of every day of your life that you truly are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing adventure coming into this place of your dreams. I'm sure we'll be talking very soon, but in the meantime, you hang in there and you take care.